Hello, machine design students. This is your lesson 6 walkthrough. So here's where we're at in the course, and where we're at is if we look in the Start Here folder. Let's take a peek at this course schedule. And here we are right here. This is week 8, spur gear design. Next week is spring break, and then the following week we come back and we're going to have test 2. Test 2 is going to be over lessons 4, 5, and 6. So let's talk about lesson 6. Lesson 6 is a relatively short lesson. We have, here's your instructions here. We have just the learning objectives and the PowerPoint presentation under the materials. It's relatively short. We're just going to be looking at, here, let me show you learning objectives. Here we go. Compute the forces exerted on gear teeth as they rotate and transmit power, and differentiate between the definitions of the following terms would be velocity ratio, diametral pitch, pitch line speed, torque. We've talked, and pressure angle. We've talked about those before, but we're going to be adding on tangential force, WT, radial force, WR, and normal force, WN. So it's a relatively short lesson. There is only one homework problem, 9.3, and then if you look at the problems here, I have the example solutions here. This is example 9.1, so take a look at that. It should help you too. It's just like the homework problem, but yeah, this is what we're going to be doing this week. It's just calculating the forces on the gear teeth. Yeah. Here's the cartoon. The tangential force is the force that causes the rotation in the gears. It's like the pinion gear, the driving gear, the pinion exerts force on the driven gear. And here's how it's done. It's done through the pressure angle phi. That is the normal force. The tangential force here is what's actually causing the rotation. And then this component, radial force, that pushes back up into the shaft. And then this normal force, that is the force exerted on one gear tooth, by one gear tooth, on the other gear tooth, the resultant at the pressure angle. Here's another thing we're going to do in this lesson, since it's relatively short. What I want to do, since it's spring break next week, I wanted to bump the due date of the assignment up to Friday. I mean, it's just the one problem. Hopefully you can get it done by Friday. That way you don't have to worry about it over spring break. And then here's the next part I want you to do. And this isn't due until the Tuesday after spring break. This has to do with our GLO 5 and 6, the General Learning Outcome 5 and 6. 5 is about global diversity and awareness, and 6 is about civil, professional, and ethic responsibility. So what I want you to do as part of this is I've given you 2 links in here. Read these 2 articles, and then based on your readings of these 2 articles and these 2 leading questions here, please post your answer in the discussion board. So there's 2 parts of this. What you have to do is post in the discussion board, and you also have to reply to a minimum of 1 post in the discussion board. So please try to do your initial post early enough, because if everybody waits until right before it's due, then there's not going to be any posts in there to respond to. So what I want you to do is read the articles and try to put your post in like within the next week, and then the following week we'll have time to put in your reply to somebody else's post. So this is a discussion post type of assignment. and it's part of your professionalism grade. It's being scored as part of your professionalism grade. And there's a rubric in there for you to look at too. Okay, thank you. Have a good week, and we'll see you on Tuesday in class.